From censored files to clear evidence, this is Redacted Realms.
Is the current life just a dream? Surely everyone here has probably heard of the concept of a holographic universe. This concept was introduced to the broad American readership community in 1991, in a book by an American author specializing in quantum mechanics and unusual spiritual phenomena. According to the author, science and spirituality are essentially one, and spirituality is merely science we haven't yet explained. The author argues that the world we live in doesn't actually operate the way we imagine. So why is that the case? Let's explore with B2T. Of course, when the holographic universe theory was widely published, there were many controversies. Not only within the social community, but also among the scientific community. Arguments are absurd, simply because they can. It's even harder to perceive with our inherent five senses. They seen and heard with our own eyes and ears, and ignore what our senses can. Are human senses reliable? If you think, how could this world be an illusion when my eyes see it full of colors? I hear birds singing, ocean waves, traffic sounds. This world is extremely vivid. The way humans perceive the surrounding world is highly subjective and entirely dependent on our five senses. This is a clear fact when scientists compare human worldview with that of animals. Besides dogs being colorblind and cats seeing clearly in the dark, as we know, other animals and insects like snakes, mice, birds, and turtles all have completely different worldviews from humans. Even some animals and insects can perceive UV light and thermal radiation while we humans cannot. Thanks to science and some specialized technical equipment, we still have to acknowledge that invisible things like UV light, thermal radiation, and radio waves are real. TC UV light and hands can. In daily life, have you ever wondered why you can catch a fly with your bare hands but never a turtle? That's because turtles. From a turtle's perception, slower processing time means movements around the turtle also occur more slowly for them. Therefore, they always see your hand movements in advance and manage to avoid them in time. So when our human perception of time is so subjective, how can we rely solely on our senses to evaluate the surrounding world? There's another proof from humans themselves. You probably still remember this controversial dress. This dress once went viral and stirred the online community for a while because different observers saw it having different colors. So are human senses still trustworthy? Could life just be a dream? Modern science still cannot explain why humans and animals dream. What is the true nature of dreams? Redreaming, you can. You think the events happening in the dream are all real occurrences. In the real world, until you wake up, except for lucid dreams where you know you're dreaming. Thus, we cannot affirm that the life we experience every day isn't just another, longer and more convincing dream. Human senses are inherently inefficient and lack authenticity. Our world is merely continuous sequences, and the speed of images gives us distorted perceptions. The greatest power of each individual is to free oneself from distorted perceptions. This is exactly what Buddha said. The self is just an illusion created by the continuous sequence of images. Radio waves, Wi-Fi, light, and energy. Did you know that the radio waves and light waves we use daily are essentially electromagnetic waves? The nature of electromagnetic waves is actually the fundamental real energy that constitutes our universe. Since radio waves and Wi-Fi can transmit information and data, perhaps we can say the living space around us is filled with information and data fields that human senses cannot perceive. If that's truly the case, then the movie The Matrix, released in 1999, should be classified as a documentary rather than science fiction. Modern hologram technology. Hologram technology, also known as holography, can be understood simply as 3D projection technology. Compared to 2D images, hologram technology has very significant differences. Please watch the following video carefully to better understand this difference. Imagine that the beautiful Scarlet Witch asks you to take a photo with a regular camera and you develop a photo from the film roll. You use scissors to cut the film roll in half and continue to develop another photo from the cut portion of the film. You will get a 2D image missing half of the lower body because the film roll was cut. But with 3D images, it's not like that. Imagine that you use hologram camera technology to photograph a girl. Then, you project this image using a 3D projector. At this point, the projector has created a completely different film roll compared to conventional 2D film. Similarly, you also use scissors to cut it in half and then place this film roll back into the projector. At this time, the hologram projector will produce a blurred image of the girl instead of missing half. Notably, the more the hologram film is cut into smaller pieces, the more blurred the girl's image becomes. However, we always get the complete image of the girl's entire face. That is the most important difference between 2D image technology and hologram technology. And this is also why this technology is called holography. All data and information of the entire image are always contained in all small parts. What similarities exist between the operating principle of the human body and hologram technology? Scientists say that the human brain and memory do not work the way we think. Some scientists once believed that each part of the brain was responsible for storing a segment of memory. Through experiments, they proved that the above hypothesis was wrong. Among patients suffering from brain-related conditions, it is necessary to perform surgeries to remove some parts of the brain. When asked, these patients reported that they did not forget the events throughout their lives. But compared to normal people, the memories of these patients are somewhat faint and unclear. Particularly, those who have more parts of their brain removed have even fainter memories. They still remember all the main events in their lives but forget almost all the small details. This indicates that the human brain and body also have the nature of holography, like a three-dimensional spatial illusion. And if that is true, then it's not difficult to understand that humans are living in a holographic universe. Modern science believes that the Earth is a series of layers, the crust and mantle stacked on top of each other. They surround a dense, hot core made mainly of iron and nickel. In the 17th century, some leading scientists of that time proposed new theories about the planet's interior. Today, a small group of people who believe the Earth is hollow are striving to prove their idea. Through books, websites, symposiums, and some extremely ambitious travel plans. The Orwell's group book is the world's most secret book, claiming that our Earth is hollow. According to the author, half of the planet is dominated by surface gravity, followed by empty space and then something else. Suspended in the center of that void is a sun divided into day and night sides. Another part of the hollow Earth theory is that near the North and South poles there are large entrances leading inside. In theory, the hollow Earth sounds like science fiction, but some of history's greatest scientists supported this view. At the time, it seemed completely reasonable. The scientific basis of the hollow Earth. The first person to scientifically speculate about a hollow Earth was S. Harwood. Famous for discovering Halley's Comet, he proposed in 1692 as an explanation for magnetic anomalies. Halley's theory suggested that the planet is a series of concentric spherical shells, rotating in different directions, all surrounding a central core. According to his estimates, based on magnetic field measurements and what he knew about the gravity of the Sun and Moon, this model could explain any inaccuracies in the planet's magnetic field measurements. He also believed that the space between each shell could have a luminous atmosphere, potentially supporting life. Halley's strange idea was expanded over several centuries. He believed that the entire interior of the Earth was just one unimaginably large cave. This new view of the hollow Earth, coupled with the theory of a small sun suspended in the very center, creates a lush, habitable environment inside the Earth. According to some hollow Earth websites, this vision was developed by famous mathematicians and scientists. Although evidence suggests these recognitions seem mythical, regardless of their origin, the hollow Earth model could still develop and exist. In 1818, Jean-Claude Stens announced his circular number 1, declaring to the world that the Earth was hollow. Sims, a veteran of the War of 1812 and an unsuccessful businessman. He soon became the most successful and famous proponent of the Hollow Earth theory. Similar to his initial view of the Earth's interior, or the simplified version of a multi-layered model, Sims' version included huge openings at the North and South poles, allowing access to the hidden world through these entrances. His unique addition to the Hollow Earth theory later became known as Sims' holes. In his first declaration, Sims proposed organizing an expedition to the Arctic, where he was certain they could locate one of these entrances and possibly enter the Earth's interior. He also believed that inside the Earth had conditions supporting life. The Earth's interior would be filled with vegetables and animals. His theory was not science fiction but had scientific basis. It applied not only to Earth but to all planets. For him, the entire universe was hollow. In the 19th century, Sims' theory was met with ridicule from the scientific community and the public. But he did not remain silent. Sims continued giving lectures and publishing articles about the Hollow Earth. He was willing to prepare for an expedition to the Arctic to prove his theory. Overcoming skeptics, Sims finally managed to convince people of his Hollow Earth possibility in 1822. He and his supporters actually got Congress to vote on funding his expedition. The appropriation was rejected, but Sims' belief in the Hollow Earth never faded. He continued pursuing this theory until his death in 1849. From science to science fiction. In 1864, Jules Verne published Journey to the Center of the Earth, in which he suggested there was a strange world inside our planet. The work quickly became a standard for science fiction stories, breathing life into the entire genre of underground science fiction novels. Many of these stories used the theories of Halley and Sims as starting points for stories about strange prehistoric forests and lost human races. The 1892 novel about how this happened or the history of discovering the world inside the Earth used Sims' model as the basis for a story about a rich world. The belief about the Hollow Earth now seems to be one of the main inspirations for many with modern Hollow Earth theories today. For most believers, the Earth's interior is a lush tropical paradise, most likely inhabited by some alien races or giants. The inhabitants here are descendants of ancient races like the Lemurians, and according to the view of the 10 lost tribes of Israel, guided there by God himself through the entrance in the Arctic region. Regardless of where they come from, they typically have characteristics of being peace-loving and much more advanced. They have flying saucer technology, they live completely healthy lives for hundreds and their science is much more advanced because they live much longer. The climate inside the Hollow Earth is perfect for breeding animals and humans much larger and healthier than those on the surface. It has a perfect temperature. God created an inner sun to provide heat during the day and reduce it a bit at night. Trees reach up to 1,000 feet, humans even nearly 5 meters tall due to very ideal living conditions, so animals also grow very large. This inner world is sometimes associated with Agartha, the legendary city of the Earth's core, often linked with Eastern mysticism. If people believe the Earth is hollow and inhabited by all kinds of super races and large animals, then why have we never contacted them or reached them? Actually, we might have contacted them, but an international banking conspiracy has acted to cover up evidence and conceal any information about the polar entrances. There really is no other force that could prevent us from participating in the wonders inside the Earth, because with modern level and technology we have the capability to discover them. One of the most common pieces of evidence about the Hollow Earth is in an allegedly secret document by Admiral Byrd. He claimed to be the first to fly over the North and South Poles. According to supporters, his secret diary from 1947 had a report about flying into one of the polar entrances. They were able to contact the race living inside the Earth, though this is also believed to have been concealed. In the mid-2000s and early 2010s, Rabbit conducted long-term expeditions. Most recently known was the expedition into the Arctic interior of the Earth. Unfortunately later, some failures including supporters and team members becoming victims of disasters from cancer to plane crashes caused the expedition to be interrupted. S largest icebreaker ships to go directly to the Arctic, where they would attempt to contact the Earth. Rabbit believes international banks interfered to disrupt their expedition journey. He hopes that one day he will be able to receive funding and help to realize this expedition. Mount Kunlun in mythology and legend. Mount Kunlun is ranked among the longest mountain ranges in Asia, stretching over 3,000 kilometers, formed between the northern part of the Tibetan Plateau and the southern part of the Tarim Basin. The northern belt of the mountain range is the southern branch of the Silk Road, a famous trade route connecting China with Central and Southwest Asia. The beauty of Mount Kunlun comes with danger and mystery. Perhaps that's why ancient people here chose this unique and inaccessible place to practice Taoism in seclusion. Ancient Chinese viewed Kunlun as the origin of Chinese civilization and the source of the Yellow River. Other ancient documents say there are 4 rivers originating from Kunlun: the Red River, Yellow River, Harakash River, and Yarking River. The 5th river flows through Mount Kunlun along with moving sand dunes as if to prevent humans from climbing to the upper layers of it. According to legends originating from Taoism, only those with supernatural powers can overcome obstacles to reach the mountain peak. Stories about immortal cultivators, exotic flowers and plants, and mythical creatures living on the mountain have become legendary. Ancient Chinese often left stories about the sacredness of ancient trees. They believed ancient trees could connect the mortal world with the divine. For example, in Qizhou there were also tall resurrection trees and fern trees. Most ancient Central Asian civilizations praise the power of the cotton tree, where Native Americans considered the cedar tree the most sacred species. Chinese legends recount how on Mount Kunlun one would see jade trees, the tree of life, and fruits that grant longevity when eaten. You've probably heard the name Queen Mother of the West, a goddess in Chinese culture. Some places even identify her as the Queen of Sheba in the Bible, who possesses a magnificent palace on Mount Kunlun. In her garden grow very old peach trees of immortality, bearing fruit every 3,000 years. There are also foxes, tigers, birds, and strange animals that only appear in a mythical world. According to legend, King Yu of Zhou during the Zhou dynasty once visited Mount Kunlun. He was surprised to see an extraordinarily beautiful jade palace of the legendary Yellow Emperor Shun. There, King Yu of Zhou met the Queen Mother of the West, and people also believe Mount Kunlun is Mount Sumeru. Mount Meru in Hindu and Buddhist cosmology. This mountain is considered the center of all universes, metaphysical substance, spirituality, and the seat of the world. Many gods have their heavenly kingdoms here because in ancient Chinese mythology there are many records about sacred mountains. So sometimes Mount Kunlun is often confused or identified as Penglai Island, appearing in Journey to the West as the place where the ginseng fruit. Throughout Chinese history, people have always tried to find the location of the mythical Penglai fairyland, but no one has succeeded. There all creatures are pure white with palaces of gold and platinum, trees growing countless white-headed fruits. If Penglai Island truly exists, it must have been hidden from mortal eyes by the immortals. Mount Kunlun holds important significance in great history. The Chinese nation has long revered Mount Kunlun, people from the Qin era. The first dynasty of the Chinese Empire from 221 to 206 BC discovered a special cosmic model, describing heaven and earth as representations of gods. This cosmological concept was also a political element that monarchs used to unify a country. Mount Kunlun became a symbol of the emperor because it made people in the country feel closer to each other. Archaeologists have discovered bone and bronze inscriptions from the Shang and Zhou dynasties, showing great reverence for Mount Kunlun at that time. Legends of Mount Kunlun still maintain value through modern poetry and literary works, praising the wonderful paradise. Some paintings of Mount Kunlun's mountain scenery were also drawn to depict events happening in the heavenly paradise. If entering that fairyland, probably everyone would want to stay forever, yet things are not as we think. Hell runs to Mount Kunlun. Mount Kunlun in China is indeed a vast place with many beautiful natural landscapes. But many strange mysteries have occurred to curious people stepping into this forbidden area. Legend has it that the shepherds living in the Kunlun Mountains dare not venture into the terrifyingly quiet deep valleys within the heart of this mountain range. They would rather let the sheep die from the mountain frost than dare to set foot there even for a single step. That year, a pair of horses from the Dong farm in Lakmia, Qinghai province, strayed into the Kunlun region because they were greedy for fresh. The people in the camp ventured in there to find the pair of horses. A few days later, the pair of horses returned, but there was no sign of the man who had gone looking for them. Sao do Guijia, Peter Kuan Mai De Duok Tem Bei Tren Mo Non Nui No. Bodang Kua and Lu, eyes wide open, pupils dilated, barefoot, clothes torn. Clutching a pistol in hand, his posture was like that of one who died with eyes wide open. The strange thing is that there are no signs of any injuries from a fight on the body. No one knows the real cause of his death. So what secrets are hidden here after all? The government sent an investigation team even to the Kunlun Mountains to explore. It was July, summer, and the weather was hot. But an unexpected thunderstorm suddenly arrived, and someone was accidentally struck. This person said that at that moment, he heard a thunderclap behind him. My whole body immediately went numb. My vision went dark. I lost consciousness and knew nothing more. The next day, the entire valley had changed color, transforming from a yellow-red color into a single shade of black. The scene looked as if everything had been destroyed. Both plants and animals are gone. Only the bones of buffaloes and other animals remain. This scene looks extremely tragic. The geological team immediately investigated the valley and discovered that this area had a clearly abnormal magnetic field. Moreover, the deeper you go, the stronger the magnetic field becomes. They believe that under the effect of the electronic field in the valley magnetic field, and the accumulated electric charge in the cloud layers will form a large discharge area. And the targets are often moving objects. This would be a reasonable explanation for the tragedies that have occurred in the Black Valley over the years. In addition, geologists also discovered an underground river beneath the valley. If someone steps onto this swamp, they will immediately fall into the river below, then follow the current and fall into the abyss. It became a terrifying part of the darkness enveloping the Kunlun Mountains. The higher the Kunlun Mountains, the glaciers on the mountains, and their perilous conditions. The high mountain peaks contribute to Vantro, all of which are factors that make this mountain an attractive land. But many people want to visit and explore, yet mixed with that is fear. In a place where danger always lurks. Many people want to explore and decode, but approaching this place is not simple. Even the team of exploration experts cannot easily discover this entire region. Many people hope that with the advancement of technology, one day the mystery of the mountain will be completely unraveled. Many mystical religions mention an ideal location on Earth. It is an area unaffected by human greed or vices. In Buddhism, where spiritually enlightened beings cross the threshold, the legendary kingdom of Shambhala is once. This kingdom is said to be hidden behind the remote northern mountains of the Himalayas, and is the dream of many explorers around the world. Shambhala is a land mentioned frequently in ancient texts and Sanskrit scriptures. Even the handwritten manuscripts of Bon also mention it. Today, this mysterious land has also become a central theme in many historical books and Hollywood films. Among them was a famous film titled The Lost Horizon, produced in 1937. Based on the novel of the same name by writer James Hilton. Currently in China, there is a place called Shangri-La, and it is said that this is actually Shambhala. But the explorers found no evidence that this was the mystical place in the legend. The Pure Land and Peaceful Realm. They believe the universe contains many worlds with their own trials. Located in special positions, if you wish to find them, you must meet certain requirements. Samhaland is one of countless such mysterious places. Samhaland has been under thick snow layers on the majestic Himalayan peaks. Since then, no one has discovered its exact location except the town located in the border area between China and Tibet was renamed Sakvila, meaning the spiritual land. Russian scholar Nicholas Job passed through the vibrantly colored mountains of Central Asia in 1926. He and his guides were shocked when witnessing an astonishing scene. A golden sphere was floating in the sky, moving from the Yangtze Mountains in the Russia-China-Mongolia border area at incredible speed. The sphere then moved straight westward and quickly disappeared. No one could explain this strange phenomenon. Could this be a hint about this mysterious kingdom? Many believe the underground world Acosta is the forgotten Samhaland. It possesses technological marvels and incredible power. S. journey wasn't. Because he was trying to return a fragment of the legendary Sintamani stone, a Buddhist artifact, to its rightful place at the center of the Samhaland kingdom. Perhaps the golden sphere was a sign of this exchange. Beyond ancient records and legendary films about Samhaland, It can also be found in the teachings of Allegrisa Tantra, meaning time mantras. This is a practice of Tibetan Tantra. It is the pure land with a circular city. Resembling a lotus flower existing in a space between material and spiritual, the capital of Sathaland at Kalata is located at the kingdom where the world's lord sits on his golden throne according to Tibetan Tantra teachings. Only those with pure minds and belief in karma can see this mysterious kingdom. Meanwhile, ancient Bon followers also mentioned a land near the sacred Mount Kailash in Tibet that not everyone can see. Sathaland is described as nirvana in Bon religion, where people enjoy endless happiness. The peaks covered with year-round snow, are revered by Bon followers as an extremely sacred place. According to Tibetan Bon teachings, Sathaland is a place of peace and tranquility for all beings, and also where many other religious doctrines originated, even considered a legendary kingdom. In Buddhism generally, this land welcomes enlightened Buddhists who always follow goodness in heart and action. In Hinduism, Samhara is written as Shambhala, while ancient Chinese legends call this kingdom the Forbidden Land or Land of White Water. Many explorers and groups have tried to search and locate Samhara to put on geographical maps, but all failed. Everyone believes it's somewhere in Central Asia, possibly in the Himalayas, in a heavenly realm, or in the Gobi Desert. Nicholas Jocker believed the entrance to Samhara connected to a tunnel leading to Lhasa, Tibet's capital. The only one seeking Samhara. Later in the 1930s, the Nazis also searched for this legendary city in their many expeditions to Tibet over centuries. Tibetan lamas are also those who have been searching for Samhara's true location. But strangely they left and never returned. Perhaps they found the mystery and stayed or perished in the search. Ultimately, no one has claimed to have found this mysterious place. What remains for people to find this place is only in cryptic prophecies. When the world is immersed in war and suffering, all is destroyed, then the world's Lord will emerge from Samhara. With a mighty army to drive darkness from Earth, an era of peace and prosperity will begin. The underground world. As mentioned earlier, Samhara is known for its special appeal due to mysterious Tibetan legends about a suddenly vanished kingdom. To this day, mysterious legends surrounding this forgotten kingdom have become endless inspiration for fascinating stories. In the book Beasts, Humans and Deities, writer Nuskin recorded his interesting experiences in Russia during the Civil War and his journey to Mongolia. It's not an ordinary story. In chapter 46 of The Underground Kingdom, he recounts a surprising event. The Mongolian guides suddenly stopped, jumped off their camels. Then they began praying repeatedly with strange words, Om Mani Padme Hum. Suddenly, we saw a phenomenon, or more precisely, locals tell of an ancient tribe that fled, and that place is called the Underground Kingdom. The two largest oceans of the East and West were once two continents, now sunk to the bottom of the sea. And so, the people there also entered the Underground Kingdom. There are many people, different ethnic groups existing there, and recently this strange place has been known as an underground city. And it has another name, Samara. This is a location of technological marvels, including flying saucers, residences of high monks, scientists, and superhumans possessing incredible power. The gate leading to this place is said to contain electrodes, caves, and honeycomb tunnels present throughout the world. However, Nuskin does not believe that Samara and Akosta are the same. According to him, the underground world of Akosta is very vast and is considered the capital of Akosta. Perhaps they are a form of civilization inherited from the remnants of Libya and Atlantis. Two continents were destroyed, Ferdinand, Orlando, Esky once mentioned in their book. He also said that the people of this civilization hold immense power and it could hope. They could blow up the entire surface of the human planet and turn it into a desert. However, are the myths and legends about this event or the underground city true? When will the mysteries and prophecies about Samara be decoded? Perhaps only time can answer all questions. And you, what is your opinion about this land? Do you have any additional information about the location of this mysterious Samara region? Please share with us and everyone in the comment section below. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to receive the link. Goodbye and see you again. Subscribe to the D&Ego channel to not miss exciting videos.
If this file opened your eyes, subscribe and open the next case.